waiting for people to come. Let's see. I see somebody's here. Who's here? Hi, Julie. I see you. Hello. I'm just getting everything together. I got your stuff in order. Hello, hello. You're the first one here. You're early and you hear me fine. Good. I'll ask again anyway as more people come. But you get ready. Good. Okay. Just hang tight while I just look at all my little instruments here and make sure everything is working properly. Move my little attendees. Let's see. You know what, Julie? While you're there, I'm going to bring you up as a panelist to do my little practice. And we'll just say hi and then I'll put you back, okay? Because this is where I need help. Okay. So I'm going to promote you to a panelist. Yep, I can hear you. And now I'm going to put you on video. As soon as I remember how to do it. See, this is what I have to practice. Allow participant to start the video. Start the video. Miss Julie, and you should come on. There you are.
There you are. Glad I could help.
Hello.
Hello,
You look
hello.
beautiful.
Well, thank you. So do you.
Yeah. Okay. Well, the only thing I wanted to do was just bring you up so I could see you because more people are coming on. But now I've got my practice to bring people up to video.
Excellent. Now be gracious with yourself if any other faults happen.
Okay? I promise that I will. And if I don't, would you please just put something in the chat about be kind to yourself, just in case I forget?
Yeah, you won't forget, but I just had to make that
I
joke.
could forget. Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of got that in your last email. I was a little concerned in your last email. So
Why?
with the recording.
Oh, that I made a mistake?
Yeah. Yeah, it's human. We
I
all do
know.
it.
I know, but you still get a positive thing out of it. It's like I
What
make
a
a mistake and
treat.
you benefit.
What
That's
a
the way it
treat.
should go.
Yeah. So
Okay. All
take
right,
care.
sweetheart. I'm bringing you up first. I hope you're okay with that. I'm going to bring you up first anyway.
Okay. Totally
Okay.
fine with that.
All righty. Let's see if I can put you back where you belong.
Okay.
Bye. See you in a little bit.
Okay.
Yes. 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 Okay. Who have I got here now? I've got Caroline. Yay, Caroline. Okay, this is your first time on. So for you, Caroline, you have at the bottom of your screen, you have a chat and you have a Q&A. And all I would like you to do is in the chat, if you can just type, if you can hear me and see me. That would be fantastic. You can also put it in the Q&A too, either or. Can you see me and can you hear me? Yes, Caroline, got it. Great. I see you, Caroline, in the chat, so you're good to go. And let's see, I got one more person that just came on, and who would that be? Miss Paula is here. Paula, can you see me and can you hear me? You can put it in the chat. I like that chat a lot. Can you see me? Can you hear me, Paula? Paula, can you see me? Can you hear me? I don't see it yet. Where I'm waiting for one more person, but I'm going to start. But I'm hoping Paula can see me and hear me because she's not answering me, which means she might not be able to see me and hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? Let's see. Okay. I'm going to go ahead and start. I think Stephanie will be on soon, but I would love to know if Paula can see me and hear me because I'm not thinking she can. Paula can hear me now. Hallelujah. Okay. Stephanie just came on. Hello, Stephanie. If you can hear me and see me, just write in the chat. You can see me and hear me. Can you see me? Can you hear me? So down at the bottom of your screen, Stephanie, yes, I can see you and hear you. Okay, everybody can see me and hear me. Best case scenario, you can just write in the chat anything you want, and I'll probably catch it and answer your question. And maybe I'll use the Q&A, but I find that I just don't look at it as much. Okay, so here we are. Hello, welcome. And I have starters. The way I want to start this call, I want to welcome Caroline. She's new to our group and she's doing fantastic. And I might just bring her up and have her say a few words. And I guess really what I want to focus on and talk about a little bit today is where do you focus your mind when you first wake up in the morning? And I think this is really important because what I learned for myself many years ago is that I used to just roll out of bed and start my day. And I went to a seminar by Julia Cameron called The Artist's Way. I don't know if you ever heard of her before. And she's really big on creativity and really creating creativity within your own head. And creativity, what she says, it's anything. You don't have to be an artist. It's just whoever you are, how do you create? And one of the things that she talked about, she called it the morning pages. And it's about how you start your morning. So one of the things is here from her book, from somebody I never heard of before, said a mind too active is no mind at all. And you guys know, because we've been doing a lot about the mind, that you really have to be very cautious about what you listen to up there because there's a lot of noise. And so the way they talk about it is one way, and I just talk about it in terms of having a managed mind or not. And through the weeks that we've all been working, that's what we've all been concentrating on, is how to manage our minds. And as you all know, sometimes it's not easy. But if you decide on purpose how you want to start out your day, it can have a huge difference on what your mind does for the rest of the day. So I've heard and read many, many things on how to start your morning. There's a book called The Miracle Morning, which people seem to love, and it's a huge bestseller, and I love it. But it's like I already created a miracle morning way before he ever wrote the book, and I wish I would have written it. Because what I learned from Julia Cameron is you can't just roll out of bed and start. You have got to manage your mind before you start your day. So I've talked to you about thought downloads. I've talked to you that, you have to write your thoughts down on paper so that you can see them. And more important than that, you got to get them out of your head. And I love this the best because the morning pages is about just writing for 3 pages. And you just write and write and write whatever is in your head. Her theory is that when you start writing, you start listening to the inner critic, which is basically all your thoughts, all your negative thoughts coming out to tell you how terrible you are and what a terrible day you're going to have. And all the things that you have to do. And I just don't think that's a good way to start your day. And it's like when you're managing your mind, if you're managing it around food, if you're managing it around people, if you're managing it around whatever you're managing it around, it needs to be trained. And I can't think of a better time to train it than first thing in the morning. So what I want to recommend to you, you can get the book, The Artist's Way by Julia Cameron, which is right here. I mean, I've been using it forever. And what I've used the most is the morning pages. But if you're trying to become more creative, which really to me is like a way of creating more joy in your life, like I interpret what she says and I interpret it in our talk. It's like the more creative you can become, the more joyful you can become. So like what you do with your mind and how you create is really important. So the way the morning pages work, and I call it the miracle morning, because every single morning when I wake up an hour before I need to wake up, whatever time that is. And honest, it doesn't matter if I have to be somewhere at 5 o'clock in the morning, which is hardly ever. But let's just say I did. I would wake up at 4 o'clock. I am that committed to keeping my mind that clean, because now I can't start without doing it. And I can't start because it's like I get to talk to myself. And myself usually needs a lot of talking to. And I can't think of anybody better to talk to me than me. But it's like there's me, the inner critic, and then there's me, the loving observer. And we're both in my head at the same time talking. So when you do your morning pages, which is just you write everything that's in your head, everything. And then when you can't think of what to write anymore, you say, I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write. I don't know what to write until something else comes. And she says 3 pages. And when I started like in a little book that was not 8 by 10. They were much smaller. And those were my 3 pages. So, and now I do write 8 by 10 pages, and I just feel like there's so much I need to get out. But in the beginning, it was really hard for me. So it's like you make it as easy on yourself as possible, but you just start to write. And it's like talking to yourself and hearing what's going on up there. And usually what's going on up there, it's not real great in the beginning. But the more you write, and this is what she says, usually by the last page is when all the beautiful stuff starts coming out. It's like you have to wait until you get a lot of stuff out, and then all of a sudden everybody starts clicking and some really creative, beautiful things start emerging. And from there, you can decide to set an intention for the day or whatever it is that you want to do, but at least your brain is empty to start out with, and it's ready for whatever kind of day you want to create. So that's what I want to talk to you about today, is starting your morning in the right way so that you can manage your mind as the day goes on. And it's like if it's around food, if it's around joy, if it's around work, whatever it's around, get it out of your head and talk to your very best friend. And guess who that is? That's you. And I really have found that to be true for me. It's like I just can't wait to talk to myself when I wake up in the morning. Oh my gosh, we have got so much stuff to talk about. That's how I'll talk to myself usually. It's like, oh my God, you have to hear this dream. I have to figure out what it meant. And so we talk, and I write, and I write, and I write, and I don't judge my writing. So the whole idea of the morning pages is you don't keep it and you don't reread it. I love that. A lot of times what I'll do is once I do my morning pages, I will come up with some models for the day, or I will come up from some thoughts for the day that I've figured out from throwing up, which is kind of like what the morning pages is just kind of throwing up everything and then putting it all back together and go, this is how I want my mind to be for the day. So that's what I want to leave you with. If you have any questions, you can let me know. And from here, what I want to do is I want to start with Julie on the email that she wrote about her evening urges, which is what we've been talking about, and all of her recognition around what she's learned, because Julie's probably, she's lost 100 pounds over these last couple years, and she's really learning how to manage her mind around keeping the weight off. So I'm going to bring her up. Julie, you ready? And the way that I'll run this today is I'll start with Julie, and then from there, if somebody wants to raise their hand, I'll call you. If you don't raise your hand, I'm going to call somebody. So you can decide which way to go, because I know you all very well, and I know specifically what your stuff is. And so there's nothing that you can't say. And for those of you who have been on here for a little bit longer, you can keep repeating the same stuff over and over again. You don't have to worry about what other people think about you. I'm repeating myself. These people don't want to hear it again. You know who I'm talking to. You just bring it up and we coach, because every time we coach, we get deeper. And things that bug you that keep coming up just need to be uncovered more. So Miss Julie, I'm bringing you up. I'm going to unmute you first. I'm going to promote you to a panelist. You're already up. Good. Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, and I can hear you too. All righty.
Awesome.
So what did you think about the morning page idea? Have you heard of that before?
I have heard it before. I, of course, paint. So, of course, I've heard of The Artist's Way before. I can't remember if I've read it, though. And I'm going to give this a try. I've got a good morning routine that I'm really happy with, but I think I want to try this for a while and see what it does.
What is your morning routine?
My morning routine is I get up and I generate joy right away.
How do you do that?
I go within my mind and I think of what is it today that I want to be happy about.
Okay,
and
so you ask yourself a primary question.
And right away say, I'm going to feel joy the first thing in the morning. Then I usually come down, start my coffee, and then I'll sit and meditate for a little while.
Beautiful.
just focus and rest. And I do that many mornings. But I really want to, I'm not 100% consistent. But I'm really happy with that morning routine, but I really want to try this.
Why do you think this would be different?
Because one of the things that I am focusing on is creating morning daily priorities.
Daily what? You skipped out on me.
Priorities.
Okay.
Daily priorities. And I want to make sure I'm clear with them and that they're in the right places in my life. And I think the morning pages will help, because just doing that routine, it's a surface routine. Doing 3 pages of writing will really get down deeper.
Yeah, I think what it does more than anything, because I think you're a let's do this, let's do that, let's do this kind of person.
Yeah, you know me well.
Yeah. And I think this would be good because it's not like that at all.
Right.
It's really just kind of like, because what you're doing is you're asking yourself a beautiful question and you're giving your brain something to look for, and it always will. And that's like the primary question worksheet that I sent you. That's exactly what it is you ask yourself a question and you give your brain something to do. So I would probably keep that at the end of your morning pages.
Yep.
But I would get out everything out of your head first. And what's in there, it's not to be judged, it's just to get it out. And I think it'd be much easier to create joy. Like once you have an empty head.
I think it sounds like fun. I'm excited about it.
I bet you would be. Okay. So tell me what you wrote me, a pretty long email, but this is the thing that that I want to ask you is you said that you're moving from resistance to allowance when it comes to evening urges. And what we talked about last time is that you had gained 5 pounds and you knew that it was due to giving in to the urges.
Yes.
Okay. So where are you now?
My weight's starting to come down. The evening urges have diminished from fairly strong to practically nothing.
Okay.
And it was a shift that was very interesting. And it really was a layering down shift. It was that I had kind of moved from, I know Caroline doesn't know me.
That's okay. Just go.
But I had gone from learning, doing it through fear and resistance.
I'm sure she understands that.
And, yes. And so going from fear and resistance to going, okay, I'm not going to live through fear and resistance anymore. And kind of what happened was I started playing with, okay, what does that mean? And what I found is that I was giving myself permission to not be compassionate with myself on protocol and the things that I wanted to do.
What were you doing?
So through resistance, I would pretty much say after my evening meal, I'm done eating. If I'm really, really hungry, yes, I'll have something to eat, but I'm done eating. And 99.9% of the time when I wake up in the morning, I'm less hungry than at the night when I went to bed. And I knew that. And so the urges, it was kind of like what I realized is I was kind of giving myself permission of moving from restriction. And my mind was playing a game with me of that, well, you can just have a little. That's not restricting you anymore. That's not resistance anymore. And what I was doing was giving into urges. And then it all clicked because in the Neff book, she talks about being compassionately firm with yourself.
I like that.
Yeah, and it all clicked finally when I started reading Refuse to Regain Again, that this with the compassion and having that firmness, and I can't remember the exact word she calls it, but it's basically just being adamant that you're going to do this no matter what it takes.
And so we could call that tough love too, right? It's like loving yourself, but doing what's absolutely best for you. Because when you're indulgent and you say, oh, go ahead, sweetie, you can have a couple more bites. It won't hurt you. We know that that's just being indulgent because it does hurt you. It creates more urges because as soon as you start giving into urges, you start giving into urges.
Absolutely. And it was just so exciting this week to be able to, not that I'm cured, not that it's perfect, and I know that to expect anything, but just to have gone through that corner, it's like I turned a corner. I layered back further. It was just very exciting because it was truly a feeling that there's compassion there for myself, that while I'm saying no in a compassionate way.
You're not being mean.
No, I'm not being mean. And all of a sudden it was like, those urges just diminished rapidly.
Amazing. Amazing. So let me ask you one question.
Yes.
Because you did this in your email too.
Mm-hmm.
You interject your success with, don't think I'm not cured.
Okay. I did say that too now. Mm-hmm.
And I'm just wondering why you thought you needed to tell me that.
That's a really good question.
Because that's a thought.
That's not a good thought either. Because
let me ask you a question. When you think the thought, don't get me wrong, I'm not cured.
Right.
How does it make you feel when you say that?
It doesn't make me feel good because a part of me knows that I've reached another level. And when you know it, you can't unknow it. Mm-hmm. And I know I've become cured to the level I'm at. Mm-hmm. And I think that one of the points I need to make is that sometimes I say that because I don't want you to think that I'm not expecting surprises anymore.
Okay.
But I also want to remove it from my vocabulary because it doesn't make me feel good.
Right.
What I need to say is that, no, I'm cured to this level. Not that I don't have more work to go. Not that I can't make more progress. But I truly believe that I'm cured to this level. You and I have been through so many breakthroughs, and I've made so many changes on my thinking, my thoughts, how I progress, my food. I totally changed up my food this week too, by the way.
Tell me about that. Paula says great insight, by the way, Missy. Great insight.
To hear from Paula. But so as I was reading this, one of the things I realized is since 2014, I've been eating oatmeal for breakfast, except on Saturdays. Mm-hmm. And I was thinking that maybe I just need to shake up my protocol a little bit.
Because that's what we were talking about the last time, about what is your protocol and is it really working for you, right? Exactly. And question it.
And so I switched to protein and vegetables. And it's working for me right now.
Okay, how do you know why do you say it's working? Why wasn't it working?
It was, I don't know that I think that why I'm saying it's working is I'm enjoying the change.
Okay. But it's also interesting that you changed your protocol, but you also changed your mind around evening urges too.
Yes.
And you just wonder a little bit because food affects our heads.
A big time.
So it's just sort of interesting that they come at the same time.
Well, and that was also because of reading Refuse to Regain. She is really she's more restrictive than I will probably be on grains. Mm-hmm. But grains are a big issue for her. And, I read, you shared with me the Inflame book.
Yeah.
And grains on that too. And I thought, you know what? I'm eating with a breakfast of oatmeal and oatmeal and fruit.
Uh-huh.
And cinnamon, that's whole grains, and then fruit, has quite a bit of fructose in it. And so let me just play with that physiological end of it.
Let me ask you this. Did it change how hungry you were for your next meal?
Yes, it did.
How did it do that? Did you find that you could go longer?
I was not looking for that 9:30, 10 o'clock snack. I was going to like 10:45, 11.
Mm-hmm. So that's how you know it's working.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Beautiful. So is there anything else that you would like to be coached on? Because I asked you the questions that I wanted to ask. And my concern is that I'm not cured yet when you wrote such beautiful stuff.
I'm so glad you brought that not cured up. I think that's really good that I don't think I need coaching on it because I know exactly what you're talking about. I realize the thinking. Mm-hmm. you know, for coaching right now, I'm just going to continue with the 3 pages, morning pages. I'm going to continue to work on this, and I know something's going to pop up that we'll need coach on, but I'm ready to listen to the others today.
Okay, beautiful. But the only other question that I want to ask you is, you said that you were creating rules and thoughts out of love instead of out of restriction.
Yes.
So just say a little bit more about that, and then I'll move on.
I'll be happy to. So my rules and thoughts were surrounding the evening eating. And that when I was losing weight, I had created the rule that I would not eat after my evening meal. And I'd sit in restriction a lot.
Okay.
And I've kind of switched that as, okay, my plan is I don't plan on eating after my evening meal. Usually I'm satisfied. And switching that out of restriction to more love.
Got it.
And perseverance.
And almost like saying, it's like, if you really need to eat, you can eat.
And I say that.
Exactly, as opposed to, that's it, you're done, kitchen's closed.
I know, don't be scared, Julie, because fear comes in sometimes too. You know, that, if I get hungry. And so then I've said, no, you don't need to fear anything. If you're really hungry, you have something.
Beautiful.
I'm so excited.
Okay, I'm excited for you. I hope everybody got something out of this, because I think I got something out of it. I learned something from you.
Well, what was it?
This whole idea of the difference between like tough love.
Oh, yes.
Because I talk about it a lot. You used it in a different way, but it's the idea. It's like, we use tough love with our kids all the time. Like, we don't just let them do anything they want. Oh, go ahead and stick a thing in the light socket. Put your finger in it. It's okay.
Right.
But that's how we say to go ahead and have a bite or two. Go ahead, even though we know it's going to create more and more urges and be harder and harder.
Yes.
So that's all I'm saying, is that I really like that, and I really like to use it. And I'm glad that you got that, because when you even decide to use rules on yourself, if you're doing it out of love, like, sweetheart, it'd be a whole lot better if we didn't eat after dinner. But don't worry. I mean, if you're hungry, of course I'm going to feed you.
Isn't that a wonderful thought? Yes.
But if you're not hungry, we're just not going to eat. I'm like, oh no, this is the rule. Here we go.
So thank you.
Okie dokie. I'm going to put you back to where you belong. There she goes. All righty. Okay. Now, is there somebody else that would like to be coached next? And you can just put it in the chat. Just say me, and I'll know who you are. Is there somebody else that would like to come up here? Stephanie, good for you. Okay, I'm going to bring you up, Stephanie. Let me go get Stephanie. I'm going to promote her to a panelist. And I'm going to let her come up on video. You'll be able to start your own, and I'm going to unmute you. So okay. Stephanie, you got to start your video. It's down at the bottom of your left side of your screen.
Oh, it says it's disabled.
It's disabled. Say what? Let me make sure. I said you could do it. Allow participant to start video. Try it again.
Ah, there we go.
There she is.
Switch to gallery view. How do I do that? There we go.
Okay, and just move your screen down just a little bit.
Yeah, hang on. I'm going to shift this up a little bit. How's that?
Beautiful. Paula says hello and welcome.
Hi, Paula. Hi, Dr. Deb. Hi, Julie. I wanted to just say really quick, Julie was so inspirational to me today.
Why?
She was the last time too. I don't know, Julie, I just think you're so inspirational to me. You have such a positive attitude. it's amazing you lost 100 pounds. I just, so many people would feel like, oh, I lost 100 pounds, I'm good, you know, and here you are, you know, working on everything. I don't know. You just, every time I've had an experience with you or watched a webinar, I just find you super inspirational.
Yeah, well, let me tell you what, she's done a lot of work, just like
Yeah.
you. Okay, so tell me what you want to work on and how what she's talking about resonates with you and how I can help you.
Well, you know, we've talked a lot about how you need to cut. Well, you were touching upon the Artist Way.
Yep.
And pages, and for me that really resonates because, as you know, I'm a writer.
I
And
know you're a writer, but this kind of writing is no critiquing.
I know, and you know, there's a I do writing exercises just to keep fresh, and one of the exercises reminds me so much of this, because
Oh,
the point is you write and write and write, and the rule is you can't stop and critique or look back or even think about if you've misspelled something or it doesn't
yes.
even make sense.
Yes.
And 10 minutes your pen cannot leave the paper.
Mm-hmm.
And it's pretty interesting when you go back and read it, because you're like, wow, because her whole point is she doesn't want the executive functioning to be,
Yes.
and right, she wants you to be in a deeper layer and a deeper level of your writing. So
Yes.
I really resonate with the Artist Way. I was curious though, why do you not go back and read it when you do your
Why
free
does
paper?
she say that?
Yeah.
The reason that she says that is because you're not trying to be critiquing anything to begin with. And what you're doing is the minute you get it out, you are done with it.
Okay.
And I find it to be so true that
Okay.
I really just want to get it out. It's not that I even want to look at it again, and it's funny, the things that are most important to me that stick out as I start writing it,
Yeah.
I can model it after it. It's not like it goes away, but there's a lot of stuff in there that's not necessary to ever read again. But
Okay.
you know, our minds are so filled,
Yeah.
we don't even realize everything that's in our heads, right? Like all the coaching I do, you go, oh, am I thinking that's a thought?
You're right.
I mean, I'm picking one. There's like
Right.
thousands of them up there, thousands that are trying to not make us feel very good.
Yeah.
Thousands
So
of
the
them.
idea being is you write that and you don't look at it again, because it's just, it probably allows you to be more open with yourself if you know you're not going back to critique it.
For me, I think it's just a matter of, it's like sometimes like when you talk to me or you talk to a good friend, you just talk. Let
Right.
me tell you I just want to get it out.
Yeah.
Let me just get it out.
Yeah.
Right.
That's true.
And I think what happens is that when you become that friend,
yeah.
let me just get everything out to you, whom I can trust with all of my heart. And anything that you have to say to me, I know you'll help me, because
Yeah.
it's what happens. I end up just helping myself every single time. It's like I am my own best friend.
I love that.
You know, so who do I have to talk? I don't have to call anybody to talk to them. I just got to talk to myself in the morning.
Yeah.
It's like, it's time. I cannot wait to talk to you this morning because you won't believe what I got. And I calm myself down.
Yeah. Yeah. That's good. That's great.
Yeah. So tell me, Miss Picky Eater.
Yes, Miss Picky Eater. I've been thinking about this a lot.
Tell me how
And
your mind body chart is first.
well, my mind body chart is pretty good. It's pretty stable. Everything is pretty stable. And I guess that's a good thing, but I was getting a little frustrated because I feel like I'm in a plateau, and just having gone through weight loss so many times, I know plateaus are normal, but I've been tweaking everything so that I can kind of try to push myself out of it.
Okay, so plateau meaning your weight's not changing? Is that what you mean?
That's right.
So it's been the same?
Yeah, in a good way, the mind body chart is still good.
So your numbers are all still good in the mind body chart, but the weight is not.
Correct.
The weight is the same.
It's like I bounce between 11 and 12 pounds lost.
For how long?
For weeks.
How many weeks?
At least a month. Right.
How do you feel about that?
I feel two ways about it. Sometimes I feel really frustrated about it, and other times I feel very compassionate about it.
Why do you feel frustrated?
Because I really want to get it off.
So when you think the thought, I really want to get it off, it makes you feel frustrated?
Yeah.
So do you think you're not really getting it off?
Yeah, I'm just like,
What's the thought that's making you feel so frustrated about the weight staying the same for 4 weeks?
The weight loss was moving along at I wouldn't say a fast pace, but at a regular pace. Like it was continuing and continuing and continuing.
And we could actually put that in the C line too, right? Like we could put the weight loss for so many weeks. We could put that in there and then it stays the same for 4 weeks.
Yeah.
What do you think about that?
I think that I want to look at the protocol and see what I can tweak.
That's not what makes you feel frustrated.
Oh, what makes me feel frustrated?
I think you've got an intentional and an unintentional model running, and I think you're going back and forth from them.
I think that's true.
Yeah. And that's what I want to show. That's why you're saying sometimes I feel frustrated and sometimes I feel compassionate. And I want to show you, because I think you're creating results in both sides. And I think you need to stay in one.
Okay. Okay. I know which one I want to stay in.
I know which one you do too. And I want to teach you how to do it. And this is for everybody.
Okay.
It's like you can't go model hopping.
I know.
And you're model hopping.
Okay.
So what are you thinking that makes you feel frustrated based on what you said to me? I've lost weight so many times before.
Yeah. So many things. I mean, you know,
I just want one.
You lose and gain, you know, or why is it so slow? Is it ever going to come off? All those. There's so many.
So how about it's never going to come off?
Okay.
See, because when you say, is it ever going to come off? You would never put a question in the model because it's not a thought.
Right.
It just makes your mind look for answers.
Okay.
So I think if you answered it, your thought would be, it's never going to come off. Is it going to come off? No, it's never going to come off.
It's never going to come off.
And I bet everybody on this call has had this. I know I have. So when you think the thought it's never going to come off and it makes you feel frustrated, how frustrated in your body? -10 is the worst and 0 neutral.
Probably an 8.
-8.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you feel that at? In your body?
I tend to get anxious. So I would say, you know, maybe in my chest area, maybe the heart's beating a little fast. Maybe I'm breathing a little fast.
Okay. So you feel it more in your chest. And it's pretty strong at a -8.
Yeah.
Right. So frustrated and anxious are two different feelings. And my guess is you start feeling frustrated and then you get anxious about feeling frustrated.
I think that's true.
Okay. So it's really strong what you're thinking about the circumstance. Right?
Yeah.
So what do you do when you're this frustrated, when you think it's never going to come off? Think about this.
I beat myself up in my mind and I go to self-doubt.
What happens with eating and your protocol?
You know what? I've been staying on protocol.
Okay. So it's not affecting.
Yeah, I don't seem to go to food.
Okay. And are you changing your protocol on a regular, like, have you really changed it?
I've been trying to tweak it to make it a little bit better.
Okay. So watch this.
Okay. Oh boy.
Trying to tweak it. And it's been 4 weeks, right? Okay. And so far, all the trying to tweak it has not changed anything.
Oh, sorry. The tweaking has probably been in the last like 2 weeks. Week and a
Okay.
half.
Trying to
Yeah.
tweak it.
Mhm.
Trying to tweak it. So how have you been trying to tweak it? Like, give me an example of how you've been trying to tweak it. Because this all goes in the A line. And I'm being very specific with you because it's very important when you change your protocol, what you do.
Okay, so one of the things we had talked about when you were looking at my food journals is that I need to up my veggies.
Yeah.
So I'm putting more veggies in. I've been working out more, which sometimes I have noticed when I work out harder, I go up on the scale first. It's like my body, when I'm doing weightlifting or any kind of strength training, it's like my body tends to hold on to a lot of water at first.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's the reason why it may not be. But
I know. We're just writing down. These are all the things that you're doing from this frustration.
Yes.
Okay. Is you're trying to tweak it. And to me, like, there's a really big difference between trying to do something and doing it and changing it.
Oh, I think I've been doing it. I've also been a little more, well, it's interesting, a little more restrictive, getting back to Julie's thought about the intermittent fasting. That's really interesting. I think that's why it resonated so much with me, because I have been more restrictive with myself. It's like I'm saying, listen, lady, you're not, no, I'm in charge here, and this is going to happen. So yeah, I probably haven't been very, very nice in that.
So that's really interesting too. Okay. So you've added more veggies. Is that it?
Added more veggies, upped my exercise.
Yeah.
Including strength training now. And then I also have been more diligent with the intermittent fasting.
What are you doing with intermittent fasting? What
So
is the diligent?
before I was like doing like a 13-hour fast. And now I'm more like, 14 to 16 hours. And it's hard to go those many hours.
And it's not working.
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
I do agree with what Julie said. When I don't eat late at night, I wake up less hungry than if I have that. Like, my body wants to have a snack around like 9:30. Between like 9:30 and 10:30.
Now, what do you mean your body wants to have a snack?
Well, it's like conditioned to eat.
Oh, wait a minute. So hold your little horses. Are you reporting the news to me?
I feel like I am, because
that your body needs to have a snack.
Yeah, my tummy.
Are you hungry at 9:30 at night?
I was for a long time. I'm getting better now, but
no. Like over these last 4 weeks, are you hungry at 9:30, or does your body just want a snack at 9:30?
I was hungry.
Okay, so you were a -2.
Yeah.
Okay.
At least a -1 for sure.
Yeah, but I wouldn't do it for a -1.
You wouldn't?
I would not.
Okay.
Why wouldn't you just wait to be a -2 or go to sleep and just wait? And I think you just said.
Well, sometimes when I go to sleep and I'm hungry, I have trouble falling asleep.
Okay.
But what I've been doing in the beginning of this, I would be like, okay, so have a couple of nuts or have some veggies, and if you really need to, dip them in a little bit of ranch dressing. And so try to.
Why ranch dressing?
I don't know, because I like it.
Right. So, like, listen, if you're really hungry, at 9:30 at night, then chicken and broccoli would be perfect.
Okay.
And if that's not what you're eating,
okay,
then you're eating something that's a little bit more entertaining to you.
Okay. I gotcha.
And that's why I always talk about, like, are you hungry, or are you emotionally hungry? Like, and if you're really physically hungry, I'm going to tell you to eat. And if you're really physically hungry and you're going to wake up because you're so hungry, then you need to eat a nice little nutritious something or another, like chicken and broccoli. And if your brain goes, I don't want that, then I don't think you're that hungry.
Okay, so what I did find, though, over the course of the last few weeks is that by eating less and resisting eating at that time, my body is not like wanting that 9:30, 10 o'clock snack as much.
Resisting eating?
Yeah. I'm just saying no.
Well, I'm just thinking like resisting eating, meaning you're not hungry, but you have emotional hunger.
I'm a little hungry. I'm hungry.
Okay, like a -2 hungry.
Say like a -1.
Okay, so you got the -1 thing going. You don't have to eat at a -1.
And sometimes I don't, and I just go to sleep. And
But what
sometimes
I would do is I wouldn't eat at a -1.
all right.
How does that sound?
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine.
You're such a big girl about all of this.
No, I'm fine with it. You know, it's funny. I'll tell my husband sometimes, I'm like, I just don't know. Like, I want to be able to just go to sleep and not even eat. But then sometimes I get in bed and we talk at night, and all of a sudden I'm like, oh God, I don't want to go downstairs and eat something. I just want to go to sleep. And then I have trouble sleeping. Who knows? Maybe it's just my brain getting in my way. But
Well, it could easily be your brain. But if you're really physically hungry, -2, because you're going to have to be hungry enough that you can't go to sleep.
yeah, so I'm
unless
probably,
it's your brain.
yeah, I probably am at a -2.
And if you're at a -2, then chicken and broccoli is going to be just great. Not nuts dipped in in ranch dressing to make
Well,
it
that was
taste better.
veggies. Those were veggies dipped in ranch.
What I'm saying is just eat the veggies.
Okay, just eat
We're
the
not
veggies.
trying to entertain you and make it taste delicious. We're just trying to get some food in you so you can go to sleep.
So would it be better to just eat like the carrot sticks or whatever, or the bell peppers and be done with it, or is it better to eat the chicken and broccoli?
What I'm saying is something that's not real entertaining. So vegetables are fine. Just like chicken. When I say chicken and broccoli, it's a boring thing.
Okay.
That's all I really mean by that. So yeah, I think vegetables, if they're pretty boring to you and not
Yeah.
real entertaining, and you're just trying to give yourself a little bit of fuel,
Yeah.
that's fine.
Okay.
Okay. So I just put down all the A stuff that you're doing right now, and a lot of it looks like it could be helpful. But the
Yeah.
result is it's not coming off.
Right.
Based off of your thought and your feeling and your actions. Because
Yeah.
all the things that you're doing from heavy frustration.
Yes.
And so when you come with actions, the best actions you're going to get is going to be from positive emotion. Ooh, somebody just said something, but I don't know what. Does that make sense to you, what I just said?
Yes.
That's why you've got to stay in an intentional model. You can't go scaring yourself.
And I do, I kind of say, okay, no, that's not helpful. And then I have my intentional model.
So what you want to do is just not island hop, not model hop. When you see when you see your unintentional thought coming, and you start feeling the frustration, you just interrupt it.
Okay.
You don't have to go through the whole A line and result line. Because right now, I do think you're getting the result of your thinking, of your unintentional model based on your results.
Yes. Okay.
And so I think if you're going to stay in the intentional thought about no weight loss for 4 weeks, the C stays the same. Now, my suggestion is that when you change protocol, you change it for 2 weeks, and you're very specific about how you're going to change it. So for you, I would know, like at this point, I would know like how much you're eating at any given meal. Like how many ounces of vegetables are you talking about?
Okay.
How many ounces of protein are you talking about? How much fat are you getting? So you kind of have an idea. So you're going to because now you're really playing science experiment.
Okay.
So you need to get very specific. And you're also changing it, and you're changing it up with exercise at the same time. So you really have to pick one thing.
Okay.
You picked a few things.
I did.
So we don't really know.
Right.
We don't know what, number one, you're not losing weight anyway. So do we assume none of it works? What do we think? We don't know.
No, in my intentional model, I realized that throughout the course of my life in losing weight, anytime I up the exercise, especially strength training, I always go up on the scale.
Okay. Well, sweetheart, right now you're trying to get off of this plateau, and you know that if you increase your exercise, you don't lose weight. Why would you do that? if you're
Because
trying to lose weight?
it feels good to move my body. It feels good to have energy. The more I work
You're
out.
already exercising.
Yeah, but I've upped it.
But did you up it because you're frustrated with your weight?
Probably, yes.
Right. And all I'm saying is choose one thing. Don't choose the thing that you say that in your past you almost know 100% you're not going to lose weight.
Okay. Okay.
That's what happens when you come from frustration.
Right.
Like you're doing things out of frustration, and then you come back and tell me like, oh, I know for sure. Like a lot of times I wouldn't let you use your past. But you all know, I go back in my past and I know that every time I go and start working out heavy, I stop losing weight.
But eventually it comes down. You know what I mean?
Right. But right now,
Yeah. Yeah.
how do you want to feel about the no weight loss for 4 weeks?
I want to feel confident that it's going to come off because the
How about,
protocol.
how about curious?
Yeah. Curious is good.
Because I'm really curious.
Yeah.
Because I can see from your unintentional model, you have a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah.
Let's be curious. And in order to be curious, what do you want to think in order to feel curious about not losing weight for 4 weeks?
Ooh. Let me look at all the variables and figure out one variable at a time to change. Instead of throwing everything against the wall and see what sticks, let's just try one thing. Let's go back to what was working and let's just add one good thing. Like I think upping the veggies was a really good thing.
Mm-hmm.
So let's stick with that. And then let's go back to everything else being just like it was.
Okay. Because that's how it was working before. And the only thing, and so what you decided to do was just to add more veggies. And so you're going to keep your intermittent fasting as it was.
Yes.
13 hours.
13 hours.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And then check it after 2 weeks.
Okay.
And see what you find, because sometimes adding veggies is good. Sometimes it's better to take them out. Sometimes it's better to add more fat. Sometimes it's better to take out protein. Sometimes it's better to add more protein.
I definitely noticed that more protein helps me a lot. It helps me with my weight loss. It helps me with my hunger levels. So I'm definitely feeling good about that part of my protocol.
So maybe what you want to do too is know exactly what you're eating right now. So
yeah.
When you're eating, it's how much protein is it? How many ounces of vegetables is it?
Okay.
How much fat are you doing per meal? A tablespoon, 2 tablespoons, 6 tablespoons. And then, so that's what I do is like, I want to find out what is going on in my protocol.
Okay.
I want to be more specific in my own protocol. Because
okay.
I think you need to be more specific.
Okay. I can do that.
Because there's always an answer. That could be a really great thought too.
Yeah. Yeah. There's always an answer. And I'm going to get to the answer.
Yeah, because, for you, after coaching you for as long as I've coached you, you are so adult-like about all of this. There's no crying, no complaining. I mean, very little. Seriously, for you. Like, I can see your own confidence about how you got this, but I also can see that your little brain wants to get really frustrated and wants to take you with it. And I just want you to calm it down.
Yeah.
And say, I know, sweetheart. I know. I mean, it is compassionate. And then just come on over to let's figure out what's going on here, which is basically some of what you're doing. You're still being carried over by the other thing. And a lot of your actions are coming from frustration.
Yeah, I think so.
Right. So in the A line, it's like, I want to be more specific. I want to be more specific with my protocol. How does that feel? Does it feel curious?
Yeah, it does feel curious.
And what I would do in my A line is I would measure food and know exactly what I am eating.
Okay.
Because once you know, and once you start, once it starts adjusting itself, you have a point of where you'll go.
I kind of had a little bit of an aha moment right now.
Oh, tell me.
It's almost like my old way of thinking is like, oh, you know, I always think more is, you know, if you're trying to reach a goal, more is better, more is better. You know, I want to like pound my way through it. And it's like I used to, you know, work out so hard because I didn't want to be disciplined about the food, you know, so I just 2 hours in the gym or whatever. And I have had to learn how to be more moderate in everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like it's almost like I threw all these things at the wall, and it's almost like my old brain is saying, you see, you're doing everything you can possibly do right now. You're working out harder. You added the veggies. You're doing more intermittent fasting, and you still can't do it. And there's a part of my brain that is,
Yeah. And it's not a part of your brain. It's just a thought.
yeah. I don't know why I would do that to myself.
Oh, no. Be compassionate.
Yeah.
It's how you thought you could get what you wanted.
Yeah.
And you want what's best for you. And you thought the best way to do it.
Yeah.
That way. Be compassionate, sweetheart. Don't be mad.
But I feel like it's almost like I did it to set myself up so I could have these old patterns of thinking, like, no matter what you do, you're trying everything, you're just not going to get there.
You believe that?
No, I really don't. I don't
Okay.
believe that.
Good. So when your little brain has little things to tell you that make you feel so terrible,
Yeah.
just calm it down and say, I got this.
Okay.
Because you really do have it.
And maybe those morning pages will be helpful to me.
I think for sure they will be helpful for you. Right? But the most important thing is that you got you.
Yeah.
And like because for sure the result of I want to be more specific with my protocol, and what you do is you measure and you check everything out in your protocol, your result is you will be more specific with your protocol.
Mm-hmm. Can I put in the result line that will, you know, help me achieve my goal?
Sure. Absolutely. Like if you're more specific with your protocol to achieve my weight loss.
Okay.
I want to be more specific with protocol so I can lose weight.
Okay.
I mean, that's the reason why you have it in there. That's for sure. Now, if you don't lose weight, that just means we have to be more specific with our protocol again.
Okay.
We don't make it mean anything terrible about you.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I'm just going to be curious about, is this working? It's like you said, it's a science experiment. I tried this, that didn't work. Now I'm going to try this and see if that works.
You will figure it out. You will figure it out.
Yeah.
And you'll figure out a protocol that works for you, and you may or may not like it.
Okay.
And then you have to deal with your mind around that. Like, what is it going to take for your body to take this weight off?
Okay.
With what it's been through.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to find out. And then you have to work your mind around any of it. Because a lot of times people say, well, I don't want to measure all this stuff. I already did all that. I go like, well, if you want what you want and you're doing it for the right reason, and it's part of your protocol, it will get you what you want. You need to find out.
And my firm but kind voice says, okay, you can throw your big fit, but we're going to, and you know, you can run around in circles, but we're still going to end up in the same place, which is you're doing this, this protocol. So might as well find a way to make it work.
I love it. And I mean, to me, that sounds like what Julie is talking about tough love.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That's how it sounds like you're talking to yourself. It's like, I know,
Yeah.
but we're doing this.
Yep. That's it.
You know, we are doing this. There is no doubt about it. We are doing it, and I'm going to help you do it no matter what.
Yes.
If it means less protein, or if it means more protein, or if it means more vegetables, or whatever it means,
we're doing
I'm going to help you do it.
Yes.
No matter what.
Talk to myself exactly like that.
I know. And I think that's like tough love. And that's exactly what Julie was talking about.
Thank you so much, Dr. Deb.
Perfect, Stephanie. And I think you helped everybody else too. So I am going to, okay. And Julie's saying compassion and love going out I think she's saying to everyone.
I just saw that. I just saw a little note.
Yeah, because
Oh,
you can all see the chats. Everybody can see the chat, but only I can see question and answer.
oh, thank you, ladies, for your, thank you.
Okay, I'm going to say goodbye to you, and I'm going to go over just a little bit, and I'm going to bring Paula on.
Okay.
She didn't send me anything that she wants to talk about. So you guys, for sure, if you want to be coached, you need to send me something. If you don't, you may or may not come on, and I make time accordingly. So Stephanie, you sent me some stuff, but you talked about something a little bit different. I think it was really better what you talked about.
I was too.
Yeah. Okay, I'm going to put you back. Goodbye, Stephanie. And I'm sure Paula, I'm sure Paula's dying to talk to me. I want to bring Paula on. Caroline, I'm going to let you come on and I'm giving you a little piece of how this class goes. And then on the next class, hopefully you'll want to come on. But I would like to know how Paula's doing, even though she didn't write me anything. So I don't know if she wants me to ignore her, but I'm going to bring her on anyway. Okay. So I'm promoting you to panelist, Miss Paula. And I'm going to bring on your volume in a second. You got your volume, and then I'm going to bring you so you can do your video. Can you put your video on, Paula?
You have just disabled.
Did I disable you again?
Yeah. Let me.
Yeah, I did. I see. Okay, try it again. There you are. Hi.
I'm in the car again.
I know, that's okay. All right.
So I did send you something, but I sent it soon after our last meeting, and then I didn't know what else to say after that. I hope you got it. But it was,
I did. I got that you were going to the doctor.
Yes, and that I was back on my protocol, and that
I got that.
dropped my weight. That I had.
No, you didn't tell me that.
Oh, the 2 pounds I gained, I lost by just strictly going back on my protocol. But sometimes I don't know what to ask. I don't know what to say.
Okay.
And I don't know if anybody else feels like that.
Probably.
But I'm finding I told you the last time, gaining and losing the same 2 pounds, and it's ridiculous. And I think I also had this like moment when you were talking to Stephanie, and thank you, Julie, as well. I mean, it's so helpful to hear the other ladies, because I'm going through similar things. It's amazing.
That's why we're doing a group, because everybody's got the same stuff.
I think I know what I'm doing.
What are you doing?
I am trying to make my food exciting.
Oh, Stephanie can talk to you about that.
And my protocol, I do my protocol very well until after dinner when I get home from work.
Mm-hmm.
Most nights I'm following it, but I still find myself falling back into I've talked to you about the glass of milk and
Yep.
a couple pieces of chocolate. Like milk is this thing with me. It's ridiculous that
Hey.
I know.
Don't say it's ridiculous or we can't find anything out. I mean,
Okay.
Somebody wants milk.
Okay. And I can do without milk.
Yeah.
I just think that is a habit that I keep falling back into.
Mm-hmm.
And I am reporting the news. When you said food is not entertainment and food doesn't have to be exciting,
Mm-hmm.
I can take what I consider to be, maybe this is part of the issue, a very stringent protocol of 16-hour intermittent fasting, veggies and protein, and my 2 days of drinking alcohol a week. And then by the end of
Is it 2 glasses or 1 glass?
2 glasses, 2 days a week.
Okay. And you think that's stringent?
Maybe that's what it takes. I mean, that's what I heard you saying to Stephanie, was like, you'll figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you're going to figure it out what your body wants to do.
Yep.
To let the weight go.
Yep.
And here I am trying to, like, you know, have my chicken and veggies or my steak or my whatever the thing is. I have like barbecue sauce and ketchup and I use ranch, and I'm trying to make things exciting that maybe they're just, my taste buds are supposed to get used to just tasting things without all that extra stuff.
You know what? I don't really care if you're getting the results that you want. I mean,
I'm
like
not.
to use okay, but I like barbecue sauce and I'm fine with it.
Okay.
Okay, and I eat and I enjoy my food.
Okay.
Okay, and you can enjoy your food too. But if you're trying to make it more exciting than what your body will allow, like if you're trying to entertain your brain and your body says no thank you, you got a problem.
Yeah.
So is that what you think is going on? Because you lost the weight, the 2 pounds, by sticking to your protocol. Is that right?
Yeah.
The protocol
Right.
you just told me about, not drinking the milk and not eating the chocolate.
Well, that's part of it. And then also just adhering.
Is that part of the protocol?
It is part of my protocol, yes.
The milk and chocolate?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay.
Gotcha. I understand what you're asking.
Okay. You are not you want to drink milk and chocolate, but you're not. Is that what you're saying?
Correct.
Okay. Start again. So you want to make food more, you're thinking, are you bored or are you?
No, I'm completely overwhelmed with life. And I think the morning practice that you discussed, you know, the morning pages, maybe that's going to really help my mind settle down. My mind is preoccupied with my health, with everybody else's stuff, my family, my work.
Me too.
I need to get it out. And so I find that I'm overwhelmed with thoughts, and that takes my mind away from really understanding my protocol and where I am adhering to it and where maybe I'm cheating myself.
Are you food journaling?
No.
Oh.
I just, we had only Julie knows, but we had the kidnapping last week of that child. So I was working nights and trying to sleep during the day. And then I had this thing with my health. No excuse, but, I had my CT scan. So I have all these other things on my mind. I have company coming in 2 weeks, 15 people for Balloon Fiesta. I still got moms with dementia that every day it's something new. I think I'm just overwhelmed, and I can't seem to get my mind to stop racing.
Okay, so first of all, your mind is doing what all minds do. Race and think.
Yeah.
So the only thing you have in your availability is to manage it. That's it. That's all you got. Like, you think you're different? You think you got more stuff going on than me?
No.
You don't.
No, you just are handling life better than I am.
You know what? Sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. I'm just saying, we have minds that go crazy. And it's not your circumstance. All the things that you told me in your C line, your health, the balloon race, your work. I'm just putting all this stuff down just to kind of put C's here. These and you named a lot of them, but for practical purposes, everybody heard those C's, and it overwhelms you. But it's not the C's that are overwhelming you.
It's my mind.
It's your mind. And so what is your mind saying to you that makes you feel so overwhelmed? Because we're talking about protocol. So I'm assuming that some of it is affecting your A line in terms of eating.
Yes. And writing down my food journals and keeping track of my mind-body chart. And it's like I put myself down at the bottom of the list again. I'm still trying to follow my protocol, but I'm not tracking myself. So when you told Stephanie that she needs to be more curious and start tracking again, measure, know what you're doing, that time has to come from somewhere. And
Okay,
so something has to give.
how much time do you think that takes?
Well, if we're journaling in the morning now, before we go to work.
Well, I mean, you can do 5 minutes. I mean, I do an hour, but I would like, how about 5 minutes?
Okay. Yeah, I would say overall, between the exercise and the tracking, probably an hour and 15 to an hour and a half a day.
The exercise, you mean physical exercise?
Yes.
But I'm talking about food journaling. How long does food journaling take?
Oh, maybe total half an hour, 20 minutes a day.
Okay. I think it could even take less than that, but food journal more than 10 minutes, Julie says. More than 10 minutes. And she might say something more than that, but let's just say, how do you have time for everything else, but you don't have time for that?
I know.
I mean, we're talking about, you make time for exercise, right?
I do it. I try to do it during my lunch, and I take 2 breaks and just get my walking in. And then when I'm off,
how come you do that? How do you do that?
I just make sure I get up from the desk and go.
What do you think that makes you get up from the desk and go?
Well, I enjoy it. I look forward to it. I like being outside. I don't like being at a desk all day.
Okay, so I'm going to get up because it's going to make me feel better?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what about food journaling? What do you say about that?
It's kind of the same food over and over again, so I don't seem to be getting much out of it.
There you go. I got so many different things going on with you in terms of models, but if you think about the model is that I'm not going to learn anything from it.
You mean about the tracking of my food?
Food journals.
Yeah.
It's not because you don't have time. It's because you think you're not going to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
So you're going to have to decide. I mean, the only reason you go exercise, you make the time because you think you're going to feel better.
Yeah.
And you care about you feeling better. Like, what if you thought you'd feel better if you could look at your food journals?
Yeah.
But what you're saying is, it's just the same old stuff over and over again. But in reality, you don't really know what you're doing. I mean, you can do food journals for a couple weeks. You can see what's going on. And then if you want to go and not do food journals and you can get all the same results, go right ahead.
Okay.
But right now, you are not getting the results that you want. And you're not willing to do the things that took you to get the results you had. And you're telling yourself, I'm not going to learn anything from it, so why bother?
Mm-hmm.
When in reality, what you told me about food journals when we were working together is that they were invaluable.
Yeah, but now that I've worked out the protocol, I think I just, like you had told Stephanie, I need to be starting to measure things a little more, making sure that I understand how much protein I'm getting. I understand how many veggies I'm really getting in my body.
Yeah. So I think what we do when we talk next time is for you to food journal, know what your protocol is and see what your results are.
Okay.
Right? Because I mean, if you want to lose weight, if that's part of what you want in your R line, then you're going to have to think, feel, and act a certain way to get it. And one of the thoughts that isn't going to serve you is I'm not going to learn anything from it, when clearly you did, and clearly you're not getting the result you want, and that you're not doing that anymore because you're thinking you're not going to get anything from it. So what if you believe you might get something from it? What if you believed it would change everything?
Yeah.
Would you find the time?
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So time is just an essence of our own mind.
Yeah.
I have time for anything I really want to do, and I don't have time for anything I don't really want to do.
Oh, I believe that. And I say that, to my kids all the time. So, yeah.
Yeah. So if you could just treat yourself and talk to yourself as one of your children, I think that you'll get what you want.
Yeah, I think I will too.
I know you will.
I think that what your discussion today with Stephanie, and Julie too, because she's at a place that seems to be where she's. I think what happens is, I don't know if Julie's this way, but you get to a place where you're kind of comfortable, right? You're not where you want to be. I'm not where I want to be weight wise, but I'm comfortable again. I'm fitting better in my clothes. And then life happens and you just are not as persistent with that protocol.
You know what? Yeah.
Yeah.
This is a whole nother coaching
And so
call.
that's where I know I also don't want to feel like food has to be exciting.
I agree.
I want to be to the place where I eat just because I'm hungry. My husband's like this.
Uh-huh.
And it doesn't really matter what it is, where I'm looking for that thing I'm in the mood for, and that's all my mind. That's my mind. If my body's hungry, it should be fine for me to, like you said, like just feed it some vegetables if you're really hungry. So I don't have to have the milk, the chocolate. I was doing this smoothie thing every morning, and I took that out, and that really helped change things up, kind of like Julie was saying with her oatmeal.
Yeah.
And it's funny how your body will react to something you've been doing, for months on end, and all of a sudden you change it and your body goes, oh, okay. So.
Yeah, so just be careful now is that look at your protocol, see what's going on. Don't change anything yet. Just get your
the same
data.
Protocol. Yeah.
Just get your data down so you can see what it is. Because we have another call. It's the first Monday of the month. So I don't think it's that far from now. Not next week, but the week after. And I think what you want to be prepared with is what your protocol is specifically, and a mind-body chart with how that's working, and the model that you use to create it. And that's going to take some time, baby, and some work on your end. But it's everything behind that is everything that you want. This kind of stuff, being overwhelmed over your life,
yes,
is not helpful. Whatever it is that you're thinking, what are you thinking that creates such overwhelm?
It's a distraction, is what it is.
But what's the thought that you think that creates the overwhelm?
I have to do it all.
Yeah. I have so much to do. I have to do everything. So what you're saying, like whatever is in your C line, you have to do it all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
As if you have to do it all right now.
Right.
But your brain just goes, are you crazy?
Yes.
Because you can't do it all right now. So for time purposes, I just want you to see this. I have to do it all. It makes you feel overwhelmed. And in your action line is you probably, I'll
tell you what I do.
Tell me what you do.
I try to do it all and I fail. And then I distract myself in the evenings, and I want to just let my mind go somewhere else by watching TV or surfing the web.
Okay, by buffering, by watching TV. I mean, for somebody who has no time, you got time for that, right?
Yeah. Amazing.
So it's just really good to see. And so the result is, in the thought that I have to do it all, you try to do it all, but you end up doing a lot of things you don't want to be doing.
Exactly. I want to just forget about life for a while, and that's how I do it in the action line, where it used to be food. Now I'm doing like TV and surfing the web.
So it's just really beautiful, because what I want you to be able to learn is to be able to sit with that.
I will sit with it, but I'm angry. I'm not being compassionate.
Okay. You're angry at yourself for not being compassionate?
I'm angry at myself for not using my time wisely in the evenings. Yeah.
Oh, how's that working?
Not so well, obviously. As I was.
Right. I mean, and so like we can create another model off of I'm not using my time wisely.
Mm-hmm.
right? And you beat yourself up and it makes you feel like crap. And the result line is you aren't using your time wisely.
Correct.
So
It's a bad circle.
It's not a helpful thought.
Right.
It's a thought that doesn't serve you. Like, just like Julie way back when she thought she couldn't do anything fun in the evening if it wasn't totally serving something, she shouldn't be doing it. Right? And so sometimes the compassion Julie's talking about too, about she loves what I'm saying or what we're saying, is sometimes the compassion is like, why can't you go on the web and why can't you do some of this stuff and why not?
Well,
And
there has to be a healthy balance.
Huh?
I want a healthy balance on that. I almost feel as if I've substituted what I may have done with food with other actions, right? To buffer, to take. Go ahead.
Think maybe you have a little, but I really want to give yourself a lot of, I want you to empower yourself with the work that you've done instead of punishing yourself for doing something else wrong.
Okay. Yeah.
Right. But for sure, the more overwhelmed you feel, you probably will try to distract yourself from overwhelm when you could change your model.
I'll change my model. Yeah. And actually the model that you did with Stephanie, I felt like you were doing that for me.
That's the beauty of a group, is usually everybody's kind of got the same thing one way or the other without being coached on it. So I'm sure with this, I'm coaching everybody else that's here too. I think most people feel overwhelmed about something.
Sure.
Right. And then we try to distract ourselves when really probably the best thing that we could do for ourselves when we feel overwhelmed is probably to do a little bit of modeling, like a little bit of a thought download, like, what am I thinking? Because otherwise you're believing it's your life. You know, like when you first talked to me, you were just saying, listen, this is what I got going on in my life. Like, this is different than your life. Right.
Yeah, it's
so
all
that's why I'm so
it's outside of yourself instead of realizing it's the thoughts about it. Yeah.
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 So your work and all of our work is, you know, like maybe overwhelm is an option and maybe you don't want to choose it.
I don't.
Maybe you would like to feel different in your life than overwhelm. And then maybe some days it's like, you know what? This is just the way it is. I love you. I'm going to do my best to help you.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's okay too. Right?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So you've got your work cut out for you for the next time that we talk.
Is the date on that 2 Mondays, is that the end of September or is that already October?
It says the first Monday of the month.
Okay.
And
that's going to be a problem for me because that's our International Balloon Fiesta. My family is going to be going on that Monday.
Okay.
And we go in the morning. Okay. So I don't like to miss these things, but
if you do, you do, and you'll if I'm on my game, you'll get a recording. That's why I have 2 a month. That's why everything's recorded. If you miss, you'll still get it, and you'll still get coached just by hearing other people.
Sure.
And you can always email me if you've got any other questions.
And just in case you or Julie, because you know, my CT scan came back yesterday. The spot has not grown, so it's good news. I should be able to wrap my head around that now and kind of move forward instead of, you know, making my thoughts concentrate on that. So.
Well, it's always a choice where you want to concentrate your thoughts.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And it's really nice that I just want you to see that because the spot hasn't grown, which is a fact,
mm-hmm.
you always get to choose what you want to think either way.
Mm-hmm. True.
Just remember that because it empowers you more. And Paula's, you know, Stephanie said she's really happy about your good news.
Yes, thank you.
We all are. We all are. But I just want to say this about this, is that we don't have any control over this stuff, these circumstances.
Nope.
It's like the scale. We have no control over the scale either. I mean, in terms of what that number says, we only have control over what we think about it, over tests that we get, the results that we get. We always get to choose. And I'm not saying we want to be happy about this stuff, but to know it's not the test that creates our feelings.
Right.
It's our mind. And so anytime we have an opportunity, which is usually nothing that you want, but it's usually an opportunity to help you see your mind a little bit better and to decide how you want to manage it.
Absolutely. I agree with that totally. And
I know you do.
yeah, I appreciate you very much and the rest
Thank
of the
you.
ladies.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, we've got a good group, and we'll see. I won't see you the first Monday of the month, but maybe I'll hear from you.
You'll hear from me.
You need something to tell me, and if you don't have anything to tell me, it's no problem. Really
Okay.
isn't.
All right.
Right. And if I want to call on you, I'll call on you because I know you'll have something to say, just like you did. I wasn't worried about it. All righty. Well, listen, I'm going to say goodbye to everybody with this. I'll just keep you on here when I say goodbye. And Julie's saying thank you for sharing. And I just loved having everybody here. And we will grow and share and not only reach our goals, but surpass them with everything. Because our minds are what creates everything.
I agree.
All righty,
All right.
everybody.
Thank you.
Okay, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.